Hello everyone, Richard here for Dieppe, and this is the point where Grand Campaign 4243 West, to me, goes off the rails, and this is not even the worst. I would love to see Bricata play Grand Campaign 4243 West blind, because I think he would experience such misery that he didn't even know was possible. I have never seen, the only playthrough of this I've seen is by Robbie Play Strategy Games, and he had played it before, and he had this like very carefully crafted core in mind on how to handle it, very armor heavy. But I'm trying a different approach, more air heavy, because the Allied Air Force is fucking crazy, just nuts, out of control nuts. And in ultimate mode, it's worse by several orders of magnitude. So on this map, the good news is a marginal is easy. You just need one major objective, and it's this one. So my plan is to abandon everything on this side of the map. I don't even think it's worth it. You're going to get blasted by tanks. You're going to get blasted by air. You're just going to lose units left and right. So I funnel as many units as I can over here. I can ignore this. Like, I can easily hold this objective. That's not the problem. The problem is I need to deal with the naval units and the Air Force. And my basic plan is I'm going to guard along the river, and the units will just keep funneling in. I have bought 3 Heinkels, 3 elite Heinkels, and their objective is to target all of these ships and get experience. And I put my defense plus 3 Panzer on this hex, which gets targeted by capital ships, and generally it doesn't do a lot of damage with defense plus 3 hero. So that protects me against that, and then I have to set ambushes for the Air Force. The first air wave isn't so bad. It's the second air wave that you've got problems. You're gonna find in ultimate mode that the Allied Air Force will rip apart your planes, and I mean rip them apart. Rip them apart in ways you didn't know was possible. I have some later scenarios that I'll show you just how disastrous it can be in the air on a regular basis. You have to save scum in ultimate mode, especially for your Air Force, because you're just going to lose all of your airplanes. It will just happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the plan is I don't have an FW until the next scenario. I did bring along Heinrich Barr, who's got a defense hero. He's just a good fighter. But even Heinrich Barr at 3 stars as a BF, and he had 3 overstrength points, that is not enough to deter the Allied Air Force from ripping him a new one. So you have to kind of be careful and find ways to entice the fighters to attack something else. I don't remember what I did here, so we can watch. Yeah, okay. So I brought 3 Heinkels, Rudel, and my fighter, and I'm going to get a couple of airplanes on this one. This scenario is extremely difficult on Rommel, in my opinion, and just impossible on Manstein. And obviously in ultimate mode, it's just about survival. Just try to survive. The air waves that hit you are devastating. So this is why I brought Heinrich Barr, and why I brought an 88 gun. So that way my air defenses are much stronger. It's really interesting playing Grand Campaign West, where your Air Force is just garbage. It's just straight garbage. The Allied airplanes will completely overrun them, and that's even if you upgrade to FWs. the Air Force will still overrun your planes. It's pretty nuts. So you can see I got a great spot to just bomb immediately. So I'm gonna use Heinkels as ship killers and suppression. It just seems like a good solution to a lack of artillery, and they get experience much faster. And Grand Campaign 4243 has so many ships, it's sickening. So if you can bomb the hell out of them ahead of time, it really helps. And the Heinkel has the highest naval attack out of all of the level bombers, so that's why I got it. You start to get your bonus units. The only things I'm keeping are the planes. I believe I sell everything else. But don't worry, I'm basically broke this entire... So far, I'm broke. After Messina was the worst because of what happened to my Air Force. Yeah, you see all that bullshit? Look at all of that bullshit. You know, 5 extra overstrength on Pioneers. You can't even think about tackling that stuff. Even on Rommel, I believe Robbie Play Strategy Games just barely got a decisive victory, and that was on Rommel. And I think he had a little luck on that one. So the Air Force arrives next turn, I believe. So now I got my fighter traps. So they can't see that I got that 88 gun. And there's only... And they basically my entire flank is secure now. Now that I think about it, a really good idea is to take these auxiliary units and put them in planes and use that as bait. It really would make a difference. I'm surprised I didn't do that. It's that second wave where you're going to want them, and you have enough time to get them into planes. That's a huge improvement, now that I think about it. The first wave I deal with, because I have time to deal with it, because there's other targets for the planes. Do you see that bullshit? That plane did not give 2 shits that I had Heinrich Bar there. And it did 3 damage. And they didn't give 2 shits that I was protecting my level bombers. This is wild. Like, the Air Force, you know, if you need to reload for that, I think it's a good idea. I actually have a chance to do a lot of damage to the Air Force here. If you take out the fighters, it's really easy, but you have to you have to take out the fighters. That's the problem. Oh man, look at all this bullshit. And there's another fighter. I'm using my third fighter awarded to me to protect the level bombers. Now I'm setting a trap here, I think. None of these units I plan on using, so it's okay, they're doing nothing. Looks like the AI is prioritizing the forts. That's a good thing. That allows me to deal with the Air Force. And you can see I'm using my level bombers to attack ships. And with only one fighter left, it's not a big deal. There's Rudel again. And I have to use Bar to protect my planes because the other FWs are too inexperienced. That's really frustrating. So I basically control my side of the river, and I'm daring them to cross it. And they can't, which is good. So, once again, my planes go around bombing, you know, whatever the hell they want to bomb. Yeah, I don't have much to say. It's pretty boring. It's the only. I've tried a lot of other approaches and I just get overrun. So I'm setting some traps there. Maybe they'll cross the river and attack weak-looking units. So that's how you stop an entire corps of tanks. You just sit behind a river. I think this is the turn, or the next one, where the second wave shows up of planes. That's what's super scary. And there goes my 88 gun. That movement +1 is nice. I have to pull everybody back because bad things are gonna happen if I don't. So Heinrich Bar is in a lot of trouble, but one of those fighters showed up so I can kill it. And then I got a really lucky shot with the 88, which was nice. So there's actually only 3 planes left. So you see I have a constant rotation with my tanks. This is a pretty efficient way to take them out. If you can't, you know, if it's too dangerous to adventure out. And it is very dangerous. Yeah, Heinrich Bar gets mutilated, but that's the last fighter, so it's all good. And now my FWs can beat up those planes. With no fighters left, I can leave my bombers unescorted. another... Oh, that was a beautiful shot. The Air Force was completely taken out on turn 10. Nice. And my level bombers still have something to do, which is nice. And another tank goes down. I took out most of the ships. So let's take a look. There's aircraft carrier, 1 and 2 of these. So there's 4 ships left. That's not too shabby. I think that's not too shabby. My level bombers were busy. And as far as armor, there's 4 tanks. Yeah, this is pretty good. I took out all but 4 tanks. I think that's pretty solid. And I definitely took out some infantry, but they have a lot left. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 heavy weapons infantry. I honestly could have snuck that and probably gotten that if I had waited long enough. Difficult to get away with, though. I could have used these infantry at the last second to snatch some things. I could have also snatched that. So I missed out on probably 125 prestige. This is... Wow, I didn't realize I killed so much armor. That's cool. So that's how I dealt with the Air Force, and I took a little bit of damage on a level bomber, and I lost 3 points of overstrength on Bar. He was really, really busy in combat, that's for sure. So, not much to say here. Until next time, Richard.